Hey guys, thanks for joining us for PIK Presents Live from the Knitting Wars. I'm Deplorable Knitter. The lovely lady up there is Ann Pinkova, and we have our fabulous special guest, Amy, who is also the future Half Blanket Challenge winner, which means
Yes.
I am also. So thank you. No need to get too excited. We appreciate it. Yes, well, we need to practice our way for when we lose. Sorry, Amy. I'm not as faithful as you are.
I did my sample, so we'll see.
I haven't done one.
That's pretty.
But I cheated and stopped like just a few shy of 100 stitches. So
I mean,
But
cool.
I did a test.
I haven't done a test, but I've knit all of these hats that are bulky. So I've been practicing my bulky knitting skills. Oh, Liz says that they're fighting words. I didn't.
Exactly.
I didn't say
Liz
it.
and I are
look
in
at
it.
her title. Look at her title. Her title says that we are the winners. It's not my fault.
I mean,
well, I think we're gonna have some competition from Tabitha and Neil. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
True.
So if you don't know what the hell we're talking about, we are talking trash about our upcoming charity event that we're hosting, the Half Blanket Handicap, where we're going to be making blankets for babies to give to let them live.
As Hallowed Angel says, the babies will be the real winners. So
that is true. But hey, who doesn't like a little smack talk?
Exactly.
In the lead up. I mean, come on. It's fun.
Excited.
It's a good time. Yeah, and I actually just was telling my mother-in-law about it over supper, so that, because my husband's like, I don't need anybody to come, but the thing is that he'll just let the kids fall asleep on the floor in the living room, and then when I'm done, I will have to deal with that. My mother-in-law is here; they will at least fall asleep in their beds, hopefully. So, these are the differences between mom and dad. Go figure. Yes. Tabitha says they're going to cheat. How do you cheat on a? And why would you cheat for a charity event?
I believe we need to see sticks and yarn prior to saying go.
I agree. I mean, yes.
I want empty needles.
Empty needles.
I mean, I'm using a big skein, so I'm assuming it's okay if it's caked up or whatever. Yarn ready.
Yeah, I have two different skeins. But I might depend. I don't know. I'm going back and forth on if I should like stripe for a while and then go plain yarn, make it sort of pattern. But also, I want to win, so
that's why I'm using a giant ball of yarn that just does what it does.
Right. I'm gonna hold on. Wait. Why can't I turn my camera off?
I didn't. There you go.
I'm gonna get my yarn. I'll show you guys. Mine is just gonna alternate colors. So I think I showed you guys before, but too bad. You can look at it again.
I'm gonna need Tabitha's blanket to look the same at the end as the empty one that she starts in the beginning.
I concur. So I got this aqua because hello, right? And then it has like a variegated kind of aqua, and so it's gonna go aqua, this one, aqua, this one, aqua. Perfect. And hopefully 5 skeins are enough, because otherwise I'm in trouble. I'll have to go back to the store later.
Well, you only got to get halfway for the show. So
right. So that's why I'm not that worried about it.
And I didn't actually say this, but I think we're going to count by rows and not by stitches, because too much.
Yeah.
Right? That makes sense?
Yeah, because we're aiming to get, well, no, aren't we all aiming to get to the same 100 stitches?
And I mean, don't you ever count? I just count as I go, so I'll know how many stitches I have.
No, but you'll know how many stitches are on the row, but we're not racing to half as much as we are racing.
Right, but if we're starting to decrease and you have 80 stitches, then you still know that you've done, 60% of a blanket or something.
Right. So I'm talking about when you measure it between the two people.
But still, the stitches. I think
I'm still going to count my stitches, and that's what it's going to be.
It'd be the number of stitches on the row, but the completed row between. Okay.
You're overthinking, Anne. You're overthinking it. We all will be able to tell whether or not we've gotten into half. It's going to be fine. Promise.
Okay. Anyways,
we will iron out
my colors.
We will iron out those rules before we go live.
Are you doing those two together?
Yeah.
Cool.
So it'll be very autumnal.
Autumnal. Anne likes to make everything autumnal, so that's nice.
Hey, you know what I really like? Burnt orange. And also I do like
forest green. Oh, that's blue. Okay, it's reading green. Now it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're gonna make me get up and go get my roving. I got like a garbage bag full of roving, and it's glorious.
I heard the story about this last night while we were on the phone about her garbage bag full of roving that she got at the Fiber Festival.
But before I get up again, we are half blanket handicap this Saturday, 5 Central. Be there or be square. It'll be fun. Tell your friends, even if your friends aren't crafty, it's going to be a good old time.
I am hoping some Let Them Live peeps come to cheer our team on, because
hopefully. And we have, so it's going to be here on the Politically Incorrect Knitters channel as always, but
on the interwebs.
On the interwebs.
But we're going to have guest hosts because Anne and I will be knitting, and I'm sure we'll be able to talk while we're knitting, all of us. But also we need hosts to help us move along in case, we get distracted, somebody's counting, that would make a very boring live stream. So we're going to have Carol Brown and Epic Mike as our guest host because awesome, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to try to figure out how to make it into a YouTube giving event. But if I don't figure that out, which is entirely possible, all super chats, well, either way, all super chats are going to Let Them Live. So it's going to be us making blankets. You guys can make blankets at home if you choose. You can give us super chats, which will be read. So, make sure they're amusing.
You can make wagers among yourselves,
who you think's going to win.
But, you and your knitting buddies, you could be like, I'm going to beat you, even though you're not live on the screen,
Right. Or you can bet on us, and then whoever loses could give $10 to Let Them Live or something. I don't know.
Not
if you're going for Anne or what?
Not that we condone gambling, but
it's a friendly wager. Excuse me.
It's a friendly wager gambling for charity for the babies.
Be like the odds, what are the Vegas odds?
What's the over/under on this, guys?
What's the spread?
When I was very small, my uncle used to take us to OTB, which I don't think would be okay anymore. But, that was in the 80s, so it was fine back then.
I probably went to as a kid. I don't remember.
Yeah. My parents never took me, but I'm pretty certain that my one uncle did a couple of times. I wonder if my parents even knew. Anyway. So I have to finish the sweater I'm making because these are the needles for the blanket challenge. These are them. But my cousin is having a baby, so this little tiny sweater I'm making is actually going to be for her baby. And you can't tell, but it's actually like a really light pink.
Oh,
and it's like a gray. Yeah, well, it's gray in between, but there's light pink in there too. And so it's, it's very cute and subtle. It's going to have a big ruffled peplum on it because every baby needs a giant ruffled peplum, so it'll be perfect.
Cute.
Obviously.
Yeah, every time.
I mean, I would wear one now, but that would not flatter me, so, I mean. So,
I'm not a ruffle kind of girl, so.
Nah, I'm really not either. Do you ever do that thing where once in a while you pretend you might want to wear that thing with ruffle on it and you buy it and you bring it home and then you're like, what the hell was I smoking when I was at the store?
Oh,
I do that.
I also do that when you're like, oh yeah, this is a really great dress. This is going to be great.
And I'm a girly girl.
I'm a girly girl. Yeah. And then you were like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking?
I do have girly dresses for church, and I have sequin dresses and frilly dresses and all that for church. But during the week, I am literally a troll under the bridge. It's this is what I wear to work.
I tell my kids I'm a hobo because I clean houses. And so everything I have is bleached. Not everything, but when I'm working, I have bleach stains and stuff.
Right.
And I ended up taking them. I take them places on accident while I'm still dressed like that. And I'm like,
the boss said somebody coming by today, like a vendor, and I'm like, wait, people are coming here? I'm like, I'm wearing my Shark gluten-free shirt. And I'm like, oh, hey, I'm professional. I know.
Oh, it's fine. I'm sure they don't mind.
In construction, I guess they don't care, but.
So I'm gonna look up my pattern for my sweater. What are you knitting, Nan? What is it?
I've been making here. I'll show you what I've made first because
okay, go.
I got. I mean, this blanket I did before.
So cute.
I like that one a lot.
Nice. You can't tell that I totally ran out of yarn and had to buy more yellow, right? Right.
But
it looks
it works.
super.
It's cute. It looks
really
like it was kind of like on purpose, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Or something.
That's the nice thing about these blankets that you're having us do, though.
Yeah.
They kind of go with whatever.
Like color blocking's a thing, so
I mean,
it is. People that are cooler than us do it, so I think it's all right.
It's fine. But yeah, and I have all of these little pink hats, which is actually from yarn that Amy sent me. So
full circle.
Full circle. We got these little guys. They're nice. And then I ran out, so I just have like a little headband. I don't know why you want a baby headband, but you might. I mean,
trust me.
Crochet a flower to go on it. It'll be super cute. I'll teach you how to crochet a flower. It's really easy. You've done the granny thing. You can do it. It's fine. They're so easy. It'll be so cute.
I think that's going a little far for me. I mean,
oh, those are cute.
That's cute.
Is that the hat you were working on, or is that not the other?
No, the hat I was working on. So last night I cast on a hat, and I was like, yeah, it had this red. I'm like, I'm going to start it, and it's going to have like some black and gold, and that's going to look really good. I'm like, ooh, this is looking heckin' German Imperial. Maybe, yeah. So I'm like, no, I'll change the colors up, and then I'm like, no, we're not going to
do it.
Black and gold is fine if you're like a Saints fan, but red, black, and gold, that's a little
like, not so sure. I'd really have to commit to it, and I'm not sure.
If you want to be the next Nittler, I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's the colors of their flag now. It's not their colors of the flag then.
True.
So, but yeah, I decided against it anyways. So yeah, I made these. I love these little Steve Zissou hats. They're like
so cute.
They're very cute.
Baby hat is so, what do you call it? Satisfying, because you're done so fast.
Yeah.
I've made, I don't know, I think 8 or something. I've got distracted by my sweater, but I'll get back to the hats. But yeah, it was so funny because Anna was working on that hat, and she goes, I think I've inadvertently made the German flag on this hat. What order are the colors in? So we were like Googling it because we didn't know.
Yeah, because
it was fun.
Now, they lost their eagle crest, which I mean, I get it, but also the eagle crest was kind of the cool part of German flag, even before the 40s and 30s. Okay, like historically, eagle was sort of cool.
I mean, you could have made a cool German hat flag and sent it to Annr.
That's true. Here, this is for a small German boy. I could have, but yeah. Here, I am going to grab my roving. So talk amongst yourselves.
What about you, Amy? What do you got going on?
I have been fairly productive, but it's all over there in the corner for the next time we podcast. So I will show my sample. I made my sample of remember the yarn I was winding up? I don't even know. Was it you guys or the other show?
I don't think it was us. It could have been.
I was winding yarn one night. Balls. Oh, it was definitely knit night because we were having a little conversation.
Okay.
Anyway, so I practiced, and it's bulky. I don't do a lot of bulky, so it's hefty.
Yeah,
And now I'm making a big giant granny out of random scrap.
Oh, cute.
That I didn't send to Anne. So I cleaned out stuff. I emptied some bags. I ripped some stuff out and sucked it up and said, okay, I'm not ever going to make that. So I was mercilessly cleaning things up in the corner over here, which doesn't look like I did, but I did.
But sometimes that's what it is. Yeah. I've been going through the kids' clothes, and I had to take my mom to the doctor, and so my husband had the kids. He was working, and he was like, "Okay, you guys clean up your room, you do your school, this and that." And then I came home and I helped them go through their clothes, and he came in and he's like, "What happened in here? It was so clean." I'm like, "But sometimes you gotta like make a mess to like get to the other side of it, you know?"
Yep.
But
so in doing that, I think I only actually have like, because I just started this, I think I only have like 3 actual whips going. Like I have stuff wound in the bag and a plan.
I don't have any of that. That's insane.
I have the yarn wound up for Anne's cowl.
Nice.
I have yarn picked out because my friend wants me to make this ridiculous Cthulhu hat thing. And I love him, and he hooked my generator up, so I had to be nice. And I had one other thing I was supposed to make, and now I forgot what it was. Oh, I'm sorry. I have 3 other things to make because my cousin, who was roughly my age, is having triplets. So I have 3.
That sounds
nice.
Really
terrifying.
Yeah. Because I'm not entirely certain what your age is, but my age is less than that, and I don't want to have triplets, so that's all I know.
No, but they're very excited, and
well, that's fabulous for them. Just
2 girls and a boy, and he's named the boy after his brother who died. So I was like, oh my God.
Fucking
how sweet.
So I got to make 3 baby blankets, which that won't be hard.
Yeah, I think you know how to. It's kind of like in your.
Got some of those.
We have the technology.
Okay,
so
here.
Harness it. How are you?
Mama Nevin has a question, Anne.
Okay. Very good question, because I had the same question for Anne when she posed this idea.
So,
answer is we're not.
Spoilers.
Yes, the race is to make half a blanket between the 2 people, but then once the race is over, we're going to finish them at our own speed and then send them to be donated.
The race is not to make half a blanket between 2 people. The race is to make an entire blanket between the 2 people. It's just that
you're not making a quarter of a blanket. Right.
So Amy knits faster than I do, so odds are is that she's going to end up making like 60% of the blanket, while I make like 40% of the blanket. But once we reach 100% total together, the 2 of us, then our blanket is done for the proper purposes of our thing that we're doing.
So we will iron out the details of how the 6 of us will do that live. But
yeah,
like Neil obviously is, he may not send it to me because that's expensive. So he may just find another baby, place around him to send it to. But once everybody's done later at their own leisure, because otherwise it'd be like a 6-hour, 7-hour stream.
Yeah, and we ain't doing that. It's already going to be a long stream.
So it's not like Sisterhood of the Traveling Baby Blankets or anything. Everybody finishes their own baby blanket.
I mean, I totally thought that I was not going to have to finish my blanket and I could just send it to whomever I was partnered with and I wouldn't have to do it. But come to find out, I have to actually make one. Thanks, Aaron.
Like, if I had the time and the money for the shipping, it would be cool.
It would be cool.
Something like that. But everybody's gauge is so different. I envision this blanket being like,
yeah, and
that too.
Also, it's like, okay, then we'd have to figure out gauge. We'd have to probably buy the same yarn, know.
Yeah.
Make sure all of that.
I
and
had
not to be that guy, but it's like the wrong thinking knitting community has a little problem following instructions. I'm just saying. Everybody wants to be doing their own thing. It's like, okay, fine.
We do. So if you're playing at home and you're not like partnering with someone, I guess you're basically just trying to maybe hopefully get half a blanket if you're a fast knitter, and maybe
get half a blanket done while you're watching if you can.
See how fast you are compared to the other people on the panel.
Yeah, maybe you can like post everybody's stitch speeds, like in a post, and then people could be like figure out who they're closest to, and then that would be like who they're trying to match,
Yeah.
Or
We can
you
do
could
that.
just make fun of us the whole time and taunt us in chat and, you know, not get a stitch. That'd be fine too.
Yeah, that's cool.
And as Hallowed Angel says, this gets the babies more blankets, right? If we were only making 3, that would be sad, but at least they're going to get 6, which is cool.
Yes.
And then some people have gone above and beyond because they're overachievers and they've made like practice blankets. What the hell? And so then there's an extra blanket for them. Who does that? Whatever.
But also exactly. Well, I've made 2 practice blankets.
I only made 1.
Well,
And
one
I
of yours is for Neil, so that's fine.
Yeah, and I pulled another blanket out of stashed, another baby blanket I had done already. And I'm like, and I will also just send that one to be a part of the stack.
Technically, Anne is sending for Neil so that he doesn't have to pay shipping too.
Yeah.
We voluntold her for that.
Which is fun.
Well, she's voluntold me for several things, so I felt no problem suggesting that that's what should happen.
And
just saying.
Speaking of voluntold, because Neil didn't show up today. What's with that guy?
I know, man.
He said he was knackered.
Oh, that's
well, you know, some people think they can just use British words and that'll be okay. But that doesn't mean that we're those people. But he has this really great Trump pattern, and I wanted to talk to him about it. Here, I'm gonna show y'all because look at that.
That is cool.
It's
pretty awesome.
Incredible. I'm like, wow, I want to make that.
That's way above my pay grade. So.
It's awesome.
But here's the thing, because I'm like, okay, because we have the Crafting Democracy exhibit coming up, I'm like, that would be perfect. And because my mind is a complete blank, this would be really great for that. And he's not eligible because he's British. So I'm like, okay, I can do that.
A British man's work and gonna name it in the name of America. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll credit him if I do it.
He gave it to us in the name of America.
Exactly.
Man.
Exactly. You know, it's just
I'm having
like
a issue over here.
What's he gonna do? Tell us we can't throw our tea in the ocean?
He can have the tea. I'm fine.
Is he going to say hurty words on the internet about us? Is he? Huh?
I hear there's this magazine that's great about talking trash about people. Maybe you could find that. Maybe you can write an article.
He just like writes a flag post article about, you know, when some people like do a pattern and other people take all the credit and put it in a museum exhibit.
I just got a fantabulous idea.
Oh gosh, what?
I can't say it because he'll see it. And says he just says he message me. I have a devious plan.
But anyway, so okay, I was looking at this, and part of it, I'm like, okay, so if this is a cowl, I'm not sure about having the whole Donald around my neck. You know,
yeah, I don't understand those things, those kind of graphs. So what is the is it each little dot a stitch? Like, what am I looking at?
Yeah, each dot is a stitch. Looking at it closer, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 120 stitches wide. And
that's a lot of Donald.
That's a lot of Donald. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And 100 stitches tall.
Cool. Seems kind of tall for we get like a whole Donald right here.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like a smaller Donald, but also that's, again, do I want that much Donald on my neck? I mean,
unless you do like this and pull it up like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like
do I fold his face over so it's just the scowl right there? Like, not sure about this. Well, and then I was thinking, I'm like, what if I did like a sweater vest? I'm like, I could do a wife beater. I could do a knit wife beater with the Donald's face on it. It would be incredible. Like,
oh my gosh.
But the thing is that the way that the shadow is, whoa, the shadow knows, is that you'd have to do like half black, half white, but in the middle, and I'm not sure exactly how to format that one. You know?
I'm not your gal for this question.
Me neither. It's above
Well,
my pay grade.
actually, it'd be half black and then it comes the shoulder the other way. So
It looks like it'd be a kick and cross stitch.
yeah.
That may have been part of his intent. I know he was working on a cross stitch for a while. It's hard to say.
That would be easy to get to.
And this one has all of the little dots in it, so it's easier to carry the yarn, as you can see. But there is a regular old version, which might work because I fear no intarsia. So,
that is true.
That's true.
And has never run away from intarsia.
Right. So, and if I'm doing the whole tank top thing, that'd be easier too, because if you're doing like straps and things, I would have to then have that. Anyways, I don't know. And that's why I was going to ask him, but he isn't here. So if anyone else has any ideas, just throw them at me. Is a Donald sweater vest and or tank top too weird?
I mean,
would you wear it?
Maybe.
Could you do it as like a V-neck sweater with, like the V-neck sleeveless sweater vest?
A vest.
Yeah.
With the little V-neck and, with the little ribbing.
Yeah, I'd have to. Oh, man, because, okay, and then it's the question of, my apologies. It's the question of where does his head fall on the boobs? Like, exactly. Do I need like it to be longer in the shoulders because it'll be, like as a shirt goes? There's a lot of logistics questions here. So.
True.
I don't know.
Yeah. Hallowed Angel says it falls almost into one of my beanie patterns. It would work out to be one of those.
Yeah.
I have other things that I'm working on to get out. I have so many things. So guys, I have that list that is all the things I should be doing, but I'm not. You know that list? I have that list. And instead of doing it, I just keep ignoring it. And it's not getting any better, and I don't know why that is.
Life's funny that way. Look,
and I messed up my sweater.
I just repurchased a wedding card for the wedding that I went to in Ohio. They will celebrate 1 month tomorrow because I forgot to give them. I made them the blanket, but I didn't give them an actual like cash gift, And I forgot to bring it to the wedding. They came down and visited this weekend. I forgot to give it to them then. And then I lost the wedding card. So I had to go buy another wedding card. So hopefully I find that card before my coworker's daughter gets married next October. So maybe I'll already have the card.
I mean, that's cool.
So I feel you.
Yeah. Hallowed Angel, I don't think Anne would put that on one of my beanies because, as she said, she fears no intarsia. So she might just show off and do some intarsia and be like, "What? What about it?"
Too. I got skills or something.
You got something.
That you do. More than me, because I ain't touching it with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, come on. It's not too bad.
Okay. You want me to Camilla cackle? Because no.
It's just a matter of tension and other stuff. I say as I'm looking at my not quite fourth failed certain intarsia hat on the desk. That one's a jerk. But mostly you can get things to work.
Sometimes they are. Sometimes they just are.
That is true.
Yeah.
True.
And don't tell him, but on my never-ending to-do list, I want to get the Epic Verse logo together, for our lovely guest host.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
I'm pretty sure there's a deadline for some magazine that I'm supposed to have some stuff done that I don't even remember what I was going to do now.
Oh, snap.
I know I have a washcloth. I have a dissident to test. And I promised some other things that I don't remember what I promised.
Yeah, I promise people stuff, and then I just straight up don't do it. And so, why do I look like I'm being interrogated? Just
maybe for your crimes.
Our crimes of ADD slacking.
Right. So, but I think it was a line from Mel Brooks, and he was talking about doing blazing saddles and that his way of getting out of things when people are like, hey, we're upset with you and you shouldn't do that, is to look at them very earnestly and say, you're right, we won't, and then do it right away. Like apparently they wanted to cut out the fart scene from Blazing Saddles, and he's like, yeah, you're right, we're gonna cut that one out, and then he just went with it anyways. It's like, as long as people feel that they're being listened to, that's really what matters.
True. I don't know if that would fly at work, but
here, let me show you this garbage bag full of roving.
Oh yeah, I forgot you went and got that.
I went to Fiber Fair in Watertown, and I'm not gonna. When I say garbage bag of roving, I mean it's 1.5 pounds of roving.
Wow,
nice.
And it's beautiful.
That is pretty.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about this.
Oh, I know what you should do. You know how those blankets were really popular for a minute? You should just not spin it and just make it into one of those blankets that's going to shut on everything. They'll be like you have a dog again.
Yeah,
it'll just be on you all the time.
You see, here's the thing, though.
And I don't need that blanket for Let Them Move.
No, you don't. But yeah, I'm not that guy because as has been said before, my personality is at any given time 35% old German woman. So in the back of my brain, I will be like, then why don't you just do it the right way the first time? Such as, why don't you actually spin it into yarn? That's what it's for. It's to spin yarn, not to play around, to spin yarn. But anyways, I'm excited. It's really, don't ask me what kind of sheep it's from though, but it's really lovely and sticky.
From a cool one.
Like, yeah, from
Looks
real
like from
meat.
a green one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm excited. Like I have no idea how much yarn that will actually produce, but more than enough for a sweater, I should say. So
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Texas Sheep Lady had a good plan for your Trump sweater white beater thing, and you should just put the face on the back of it. But I think that it would be better if it was on the front.
I guess you could do front and back.
You can watch it coming and going.
The side thing. I've seen people do something on the side where there's no seam, so it's like all stealthy like, and it's like, hey, how you doing? Look at my stuffing.
So like you only see Trump's face if I'm airing my pits. Like what's going on?
No, like you see half his face in the front, like half his face in the back. You know, kind of like then it's like artistic.
I don't know that we've ever been accused of that, so.
I'm just making crap up. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Not very good at this whole like
hair in my yarn. Like one day someone's gonna commit a crime and I'm gonna get accused of it because my hair is in their project.
Yeah, I have. There's a lot of times where I'm knitting along. I'm like, oh, look at that. It's just a little bit of me everywhere. Okay.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. Make a Trump tote bag. That's a good plan.
What?
Is
tote bag.
Galaxy braining it. Make a Trump tote bag.
Oh.
There we go.
See, Liz is working smarter, not harder there, Ann.
See.
You definitely struggle with that still.
I still like Ann's idea of the wife beater, though, because it's just kind of funny.
Well, yeah, because it is funny.
To have his mugshot on one, you know.
But
and I do anything for a joke. So
she sure will, which is why I end up participating in half of these things that she's got going on. Speaking of, we need to get going on the next thing.
Yes, though next thing is not till November. Everybody
that's
chill.
Till November for you guys. Don't worry. But for us,
also,
oh shit, my phone's dying.
It's a fun one, but it's a chill one.
I did want to clarify while DK is charging. I think Ann posted to clarify. that the make along, you do not have to actually finish your blanket in September to send to me, because I'm not even going to collect entries for giveaway until after September. Because let's just be real, it's me. So
I think I said that you have to finish in September, but you don't need to send it by September.
Yeah, you don't have to send it by September.
For purposes of the giveaway, you can make extra stuff afterwards.
Right. So, if you make your blanket, you finish it, you don't weave it in until the first week of October. Okay, cool, fine. But if you're also making other things, by all means, make all your shipping go further, because I will explain that part of this whole thing that Ann just kind of fell backwards and it worked out in is that I
really love that for us.
You really did. You're like, I'm like, oh hey, by the way, we're changing your things, but it works out totally perfect. Because we're doing it a little bit different now. That like we're the reason we're collecting blankets is because we are sending Let Them Live is we like I'm the one mailing everything. I have been, but I don't have to be anymore, and that's a wonderful feeling. Let Them Live is sending what we call hospital go bags, and so that's the purpose, is to have a diaper bag with stuff in it, which is what Emily explained when she was on the podcast with you guys. So we're putting a blanket in it. So I shipped every blanket and almost every hat that I had that was newborn, because remember I kept telling you guys that I need larger hats because I don't always know when the babies are born and I can't get it to them in time. So I had this plethora of newborn hats that I could never send out. So I sent all these newborn hats and all these blankets, and I had enough for 100 bags, which got us through the end of the year. So what we're doing, and the reason like I'm saying you don't have to ship stuff right now, is that we're basically preparing for the next 6 months, which means like we're aiming for like people to get everything collected and mailed to one shipping house, which is not me, but I'll have the address for later, by February for a March shipment and basically we're aiming for like every 6 months at a time. Right. So we're doing basically like 100 babies, 100 bags, we're guesstimating based on babies born, 100 bags every 6 months. So, but there are still going to be moms that I send things to, because not every mom is a hospital go bag mom, and there's reasons for that behind the scenes. But so I will still be sending some care packages out, but I will only be sending like 5 or 6. So you guys,
that'll be nice for you.
Yeah, helpful for me. And I have a friend that cranks hats for me, so hats will be doable. And you guys have already sent me so much other sweaters and other stuff that I'm pretty good on all that. And blankets, y'all can, usually I get enough that it's like I have enough to keep going. So that's the point of that, is you don't have to rush and mail them to me in order to qualify for your entry. Like Ann said, you can finish it by the end of September. Yeah. And have some sort of proof. Take a picture and email it to their email or my email. And I will have a form with all the instructions, I promise. There's going to be a spreadsheet. But you don't have to like rush and mail it, because if you're planning on making 3 or 4 more other blankets, because there's also a Let Them Live spreadsheet to keep all that straight. So I have other people who are donating, and you can't see my hands when I do that. So I have their spreadsheet and I have my spreadsheet, and then I have to tell those people when to get the things. So you don't have to be like, oh my God, I gotta mail it. If you want to mail like 4 or 5 of them at one time. So if you still want to make hats, like if you want to make a hat about your blanket, that'd be pretty nifty, and we'd really appreciate that. That'd be cool. But it only needs to be newborn size, because those are going to the hospital bag for the mom to have at birth. So you could crank out a little newborn hat to match your blanket. Yeah, I wouldn't be bad about that. You don't have to, but I won't be mad if you do.
You do come from a family of coordinating bags and projects with Denise, so you do like the coordination there.
You're making a blanket, you got a little yarn left over, just make a little newborn hat. Just fun.
Cool. So Hallowed Angel said, when's the deadline for shipping? So I think the long and the short of it is that there's not a deadline for shipping.
Right.
And if you have questions, I guess reach out to Amy, because she's cool.
Hit me up.
She's usually pretty nice. I mean,
if
most days
somebody was like, no, in my heart and soul, I need to send it out.
Yes, if you absolutely need to get it out of your house, because
if you're like, I will forget and I don't want to forget, so I'm sending it.
I fully understand that brain power, because in my world, if I don't see it, it doesn't exist, which is why my house is an utter mess all the time, because I cannot, once it gets put away, I can't. It doesn't exist. So if you need to, absolutely, you can send it to me. Not a problem.
Yeah.
Totally fine. But I'm saying you don't have to.
I think you're my penguin. Anne is my internet spouse, but I think you and I are like soulmates on this level, except for the spreadsheet thing. I can't be involved in that shit.
I literally purchased this cool book that I saw somebody share, and it was like 1 line a day. And it's like for 5 years, and you write 1 line a day, just something happened. And it's supposed to be so you can look back and remember things, and it could be simple stuff. Or we had dinner, whatever, and this celebrity died, whatever. I literally put it away because we had company coming over, and when I went through the wedding shower, I threw the wedding shower, and I put all kinds of stuff away. I didn't find that bad boy for a month. I had to go back and like find, and I don't know what I did. I forgot. So for like weeks, it's like on those days because I couldn't, because it didn't exist. I didn't see it. It no longer existed.
Mm-hmm. I've been struggling with that a lot.
And
to the lady who keeps asking about her yarn, I know it exists. I know you want your yarn. I promise I'm going to mail it. Promise. And Anne forwarded me the email that you sent to our email because I haven't sent it, and I'm sorry. I apologize.
So that's what's ironic, that my job at Let Them Live was to keep track of things and mail packages. How I did that for a year and a half, I don't know.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, and I'm sorry.
Quite honestly. Which is why I only mail packages like once a month.
Speaking of packages, Bat Sauce is in the chat. Hello. I owe his wife a package. So it's sitting there. It will go to her. But he and Evely Music, I met at the Drink with Crazy Barbecue. So they do the Iron Seas podcast, which is a lot of fun.
Cool. He's very cool.
Thanks for joining us for the Random Knit Talk.
So also understand not mailing packages.
Oh my gosh. I am so bad. I try so hard, and I am so bad. And I think if I could get my life organized, I would do better. But then I get it organized, and I can't find anything, and then I still don't do it. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to this problem. I really don't.
Well, and I even like try to tell myself, they're like, I hear that ADD mantra. It's like, don't put it down, put it away. And I'm like, but if I put it away, it doesn't exist.
No, I'm totally that way too. Like, okay, I got a lot of crap sitting around, but also I will forget about it. It will disappear.
Yes.
Anne's better about it, though, going out in the mail and stuff. I gotta say that's part of why she usually has the giveaway yarn, because I try. I do. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Well, it gets hard keeping humans alive. I get it. So, but you know.
Well, and I posted in my Patreon, but my mom fell, and so that's been a thing too. And there's been tests and doctor's appointments, and my life kind of went a little bit sideways. So, you know, it is what it is. I do my best. I've won a couple and then forgot until it's in my mailbox, and it is like a surprise sometimes when it comes, and you're like, oh, hey, I forgot about that. Like, I'll even order.
Like, what is this package? I'm like, do you think I know? I don't know, because now half the time it's stuff for Let Them Live, so I don't know. And he's like, oh, more yarn. I'm like, no, it's blankets for the baby. Shut up.
It's yarn in a blanket form.
I got
it's a pre-made.
I got some today from Ellen. I got some beautiful sweater sets. So it was not yarn. It's yarn already constructed together into things for babies. So
Here, Mama Neva says, I've never loved you more than when you said, if I can't see it, it doesn't exist.
I mean, seriously.
True story.
My work desk, literally. My Karen, like, it drives her absolutely batty because she only works 3 days a week. So when she leaves on Thursday, every piece of paper is put away, and her job is like the filing and stuff like that. Everything is filed. Everything is organized. There's nothing on her desk. I have like 17 sticky notes. I have a notebook over here. I have stacks of papers over here. I have like sticky notes on the monitor. I have pop-up messages on my Outlook.
No, I do that. I do that with books I buy, where I'm like, I'm sorry, it has to sit on the table. It's like, no, put it on a shelf. Do that. I'm like, no. Once it goes in the shelf, it will go into magical shelf world.
I got a tile thing for free when I paid for Life 360 for my kid. Where is it? Still in the package that it came from, right next to my nightstand. Why? What good is it doing there? I don't know.
Here, this is the best comment of the night so far. Yarn is just IKEA sweaters.
That's so true. That needs to be a t-shirt.
That is true. Well, if she allows us to, we can make that
we like sub-assembly required. I saw something in like an Aldi group, and like Aldi has like these crochet pumpkins for right now. So it's a little crochet hook and the yarn and everything. So the girl took the orange yarn and the brown yarn and she just put it on top and she's like, there, I finished. I made it.
I win. Follow me for tips.
That is true. So you were talking about being the lady in charge of Let Them Live and sending the stuff. So tell us, because when we talked to Emily, nobody knew the story.
Let Them Live. Let's clarify that. Definitely not the lady in charge of Let Them Live. Lady in charge of handmade stuff for Let Them Live.
Yes.
No, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Yes. Got the lady in charge of all of Let Them Live, which is Emily. We interviewed her. Watch it if you haven't. Apparently people were crying.
We like crying. We're all for the crying. I still say, and you should put some of that music over the top of it. Just kind of lead into
the little we can do the black and white filter, and my eyes can get like really mutzy, and we can do in the arms of an angel, and we can for the babies. Donate now, donate.
Shall we make a commercial for our upcoming stream?
That'd be awesome.
We should. That'd be hilarious.
Mike has a really nice
somebody write it down and remind me I said that, because I'll do it.
Mike has a very calming, chill voice. Epic Mike could totally narrate it and just do this deep
Do we need to find pictures online of sad babies?
I thought that we would just put pictures of ourselves up there just because it would be funnier.
We're pretty sad. We're pretty sad.
Yeah,
Here,
strong. Okay,
here,
yes, DK. Write that down, Anne, so she doesn't forget.
All I have is here's my original logo design of the half blanket handicap.
Who made it? It's really cool.
Yolanda made it.
Oh, she does so good.
Because she's amazing.
So yes.
Oh, and write down the IKEA sweater thing too for me, would you? So that I don't forget that later. Thanks.
So yes, how Emily, because Emily's just as bad. I was like, I totally get it. She's got tons of people that have come into it, and then it's a basically online group. I mean, there's a main office, but very few people are at the main office. So mostly everybody's just faces in our phones, And I'm a total slacker and never should go to the meetings or anything because I'm just a volunteer and I don't have to, and they're usually during the day. So, no, basically I created my own position at Let Them Live because that's what I do. It's just make work for myself. Because I was a donor and a Heartbeat Club member, and then I was like, maybe they would want stuff. Maybe they would want blankets and stuff for the moms. So I emailed Emily and a couple other people and got the ball rolling, and they're like, hey, cool, you want to head that? I'm like, sure.
And so that's how that went down.
That's basically how that went down. So basically she's not joking. If you want to do something, you just gotta hey, I'll do this thing, and if that's something they want to do, then they had to talk about it amongst themselves and see, because for the first however long I paid for all the shipping, and then after a while it got kind of costly that we were sending to more and more moms. So it's like, I can't afford that anymore. I had to buy an HVAC system and wisdom teeth removal and all kinds of stuff, and I can't afford that right now. So, so they took over the money for the shipping, and which is cool and helpful. And but it it started to grow pretty decent, and we streamlined a lot of things along the way, because at first it was just kind of willy-nilly figuring it out, but now it's a whole process. Does the mom want the blanket, yada yada, and there's along with all the other stuff, because I don't do any of the counseling. I don't talk to them other than sending a package. I don't talk to the mom, so I don't think I can handle that. I don't think I could do that at all.
I don't think I could either.
So I'm HIPAA trained, and I have access to all the information because I have to mail them the stuff when it's but I don't, and I could contact the moms, but I don't, generally speaking. So that's why the hospital bag program is cool, because they came up with that, and then I was like, hey, do you want to put stuff in it, handmade stuff? Because I have 183 newborn hats that I can't send right now because I never find out the baby's born in time. So that's how they're like, yeah, let's put stuff in there. I'm like, okay, cool, let's go.
That's fun.
Well, and it's really cool too, because I mean, if you have, if your job is to support mothers who don't get otherwise supported.
Right.
So it's like, they probably aren't getting handmade baby things.
Right.
So
a
it's
lot
like
of them are either not as supported by their family and friends, and it's not, or they, they can't go on Etsy and buy whatever, so
Yeah.
and, I did a lot. Most of my other charity knitting was for the other babies and stillborn loss and all that, and I still do that stuff. But when I became a regular Heartbeat Club member, I was like, hey, maybe that's what they want. So I mean, I was just, hey, all they're gonna do is say no, and I'll just make them for something else, because I think I'd reach out to our local pregnancy resource center, and they had never got back to me. But they're really small, and understandably, they've got to be private, so
Right.
So that's pretty much how I got started. So I think I did that for like a year and a half, and so that's why now the hospital bags will go to most of the moms, and then I will send the care packages to maybe 5 or 6 moms a month who don't meet the reasons for getting a hospital bag.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, not every mom is financially provided. Some moms are provided in other ways. They're not necessarily financially provided. So for those moms, I will give them a care package. So
okay, nice. I like it that Emily did say that on the thing. If you want to do something,
yeah, and I always
just let us know. And
there's somebody that always makes me blankets, and they always send a little card. I'm like twice I've been like, hey, your handwriting's really pretty. Would you be interested in helping our gratitude program? Because they have a whole volunteer program for the people write thank you cards to everybody that donates and stuff. Because it is nice to be recognized as a donor or a volunteer and have like some kind of, because you shouldn't do it for extrinsic reasons, but it is nice to be appreciated. And so a little thank you card saying, hey, thank you for your donation, especially if you're a regular donor, is nice. So they have like a gratitude program where they send thank you cards to people. And there's a couple people that have like really nice handwriting. I'm like, hey, do you want to write cards? Here's how you do it if you want to do it. I'm just saying.
Just in case, just so you know.
You want to. So there are multiple ways you can volunteer. You don't have to, which technically all you guys are volunteers by making stuff.
Yeah. And what we do is important. I said it on the thing, and, not everybody's always in a position to send money or to send, but, let people know that they're loved, which is also just as important.
If you make stuff, you can email. I can give you our email to the lady for the tax deduction letter, because donated items are different than money. Like, you have to put the value on it. They don't put the value on it, which I think that's pretty standard in nonprofit practice. Like, if it's not like I'm buying this pack of toilet paper and here's the receipt for it kind of thing, handmade things, I think generally are like that. So if somebody wants a tax receipt for their crafted item, I can give you the email of the lady you need to contact to get that. So.
Okay. So if you guys want that, Amy's your girl. Mama Nevin wants to know if they need to be washed before we send them.
You do not have to. That is up to you. The only thing we ask is that it's not a smoker home, because that smell is just really hard to get out. Pet hair is fine if you feel like your pet, because I have pets. So if you feel like there might be more than a few rogue pet hairs in your item and you want to wash it and dry it, that would be totally fine. But please use like baby friendly, detergent. I actually have a handy dandy flyer with all the information that I should probably post on my Instagram.
Probably would be useful. Yeah.
Well, we
maybe
only
pin it to the top.
We sent out info to all the donors and asked other people. So we've got now more donors who already are regular donors, and we've gotten like quite a few responses that they're going to make stuff too. So we're trying to extend it out that, so you guys, I could send you the same Google form so that you guys could actually end up on the official Let Them Live spreadsheet. So I can easily track you on this spreadsheet.
I don't want to be tracked. Thank you very much.
Track you. I can find you.
No, thank you. I'm good.
But I do have like parameters. I can post the parameters. So
yeah. She says that there aren't too many hairs, but Pirate does try to help sometimes. Yeah.
I mean, look, my hairs I pull up these things. So I mean, it's gonna happen.
Well, I shared the picture on Instagram of my nephew eating the hat. So there's a little bit of genuine kid spit.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I like that. Grab here.
And so if it is not machine washable and dryable, please include care instructions so that we can attach that onto the mom, because the people that send the go bags are not necessarily crafters. So I kind of had to give them like a rundown lesson of what, because I just sent everything, you know, most of what I had to them, which I've already gone through and checked and looked at and stuff and labeled as necessary. But going forward, if people send stuff directly to them, they're not going to have any clue what's washable and not washable, whereas I could pick it up and pretty much feel it. So
Yeah.
so if there is care instructions, please do include those. So.
Your spider senses.
I mean, yeah, I've got stuff and I'm like, I think that's wool.
Like, that's feeling pretty wool to me.
It's funny.
And quite honestly, I always tell the moms, machine wash, lay flat to dry anyway, because I'm traumatized now of dryers. So I just don't put anything in the dryer anymore.
Yeah. For those of you that forgot, there was a blanket that had some troubles.
So I just, because most of the time it's, you know, I mean, a blanket you could just lay out on your table or whatever. It's not, you know, because sometimes stitches break loose or whatever. So
I still inwardly weep whenever I think of that blanket.
I do too.
It was such a beautiful blanket.
That might have to be like my, what do we do? Finish it in Frog in February. That might have to be like my retribution that I handle.
Take it out quietly and shoot it. You don't even frog it. It's just
put it out of its misery in the backyard.
Get treatment, and you're like, walk away.
At this point, I think I'm just gonna aim for felting it. Just shrink it and be a dog blanket.
Yeah.
Oh man! So if anybody
lay it out in the sun and hope that the crows pick out pieces.
Take me.
Just take
if anybody has questions, you can hit me up. That's fine. Hit me up on Instagram. You can email me, whatever you need.
ProLifeKnitter on Instagram, and Amy.
Amy.d@letthemlive.org.
Cool. Amy.d.
Amy.d.
Cool.
Yep. Which I really appreciate everything. Trust me, and I'm glad Emily was able to come on, because I keep telling you guys, I'm like, you have no idea that they're like amazed, because most of them are not. We do have some crafters on the team. There's Juliet does our graphic design on social media, and she's a crocheter, and there's a couple others, but the vast majority of them have no clue, and they're just like, this is amazing.
That's cool.
This is so cool. Not here.
I can't stop yawning. It's not you. The weather changed finally, and it got cold, and it's been raining all day, and all I want to do is get in the blankets and like be snuggly.
Yes, that is
before we totally move away from Let Them Live, what do you have for stitch stoppers?
I have lots. That's right, lots of stitch stoppers.
And stitch stoppers count as
yes,
donation entry thing.
Chicken Lady yarn, that is in the selection that she has that donates, that counts, right? If they buy that, right? If they donate, which you had quite a few donations on your Instagram fundraiser, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
And still growing, which is cool. And if you purchase stitch stoppers in the month of September, so that I could easily track, but that will be on the Google form to make
What's
sure.
up with you and all this tracking of people? You're making me feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Did you not hear me? If I don't see it, it's not there. So if you're not on the spreadsheet, it didn't happen.
Okay. That's valid. I got you.
So yes, lots of cool stitch stoppers. The link for that is in my Instagram. If anybody's not on Instagram and can't get to it or doesn't want to, I will give you the link. It's just a form that you could check, but you could check out directly through the form. And there is a code that for 25% off if you buy over a certain amount, which is on Instagram. So, but I have lots of cool stitch stoppers, and please buy them so I don't die with them. And
how much are they?
They're normally $8 for a set of 2, but if you buy 4 sets or more, then they're only $6. Because if you put the coupon code in, it comes down to $6. And I have some bookmarks, and I'm trying some things with stitch markers. I'm still experimenting with that. I'm not a crafty person like that. Like the whole little teeny tiny jump ring thing is like, woo, that's a whole other ballgame. And I'm trying a couple other things, but and then technically shipping's like $5, and most people say just because I say, hey, if it's less than that, I'll refund you. But most people say just put it towards because I don't keep anything. Right. All I pay for is I take out the money for the monthly fee for the form. I take out the money for the actual stitch stoppers and the little bit for the mailers, and and then everything else gets donated. So I've donated almost $900 since I started this.
Wow.
So
where do you get the stitch stoppers from? Do you make them?
No, I buy
them.
I buy
them. Okay. Cool.
There is a profit to be had.
Yeah.
So that's why of each set, I probably donate $4 to $5 per set.
Wow.
Nice.
So transparency there. They're not expensive, but I do buy like 100, 200 at a time.
Yeah.
You don't want to be buried with, like you said, don't let me die with these.
Yeah, I did find these things
silicone stitch markers, they'll.
I literally went and bought like a tackle box thing and put them all in and organize it, and they still don't all fit. So I'm like, now I need a second tackle box.
But at least that's a good way to. My husband had tackle boxes for the kids' toys when they had like small things with little pieces so that they could like keep all the bits together. I mean, it works out pretty well.
Yeah, because you pretty much have to buy. You could, in theory, find websites to buy a few at a time, but you're really kind of wasting your shipping on that. And to find the really cool ones, you kind of got to go overseas. But I buy them like by 100, 150 at a time. So yeah.
Cool.
So my investment is your gain. You don't have to have them clogging up your house. You can just, because guess what? I have to see them. So they're sitting on a table in the tackle box.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, every now and then my husband just walks by the front room and he just looks at me. I'm like, it's for the babies. I don't want to hear it. Like literally every time. Because it was just an armoire with yarn, and then it was my little yarn shelf and my yarn. Then I started shipping stuff for Let Them Live. So now there's a table and another shelf with all the boxes, the little pull-out totes of everything. Because I try to keep everything wrapped up so it doesn't get, stuff on it or whatever. So then now there's a table and a chair, and then there's other boxes, and there's donation boxes, and then there's more boxes where stuff came. Then there's stitch stopper boxes, and he's like, it keeps moving out. I'm like, sorry, it's for the babies.
For the babies.
When your kid moves out, when your kid moves out, I'll take a room.
Wow. Getting rid of the kids, I see.
He would like to
get rid of the kids to help babies. That's just how it works.
Yeah, exactly.
They're adults now. It's fine. Whatever.
One of them is. He can go.
No.
He can't. Poor baby. He's so depressed. He's like, man. He's like, even if I wanted to move out, which I do want to move out, but can you really afford to move out? And I get paid well. I'm like, welcome to Biden's America.
Mm-hmm. True story.
So even though we don't vote, he's choosing to vote. So he will be voting this year. He's like, I know who I vote for.
Good for him. That's cool. Helen Angel says that the baby stuff takes over everything. They got a baby in the house and it's everywhere.
True.
That's true. I mean, my kids, their crap is everywhere. It's just life.
It is just full circle from when they were babies and their stuff was everywhere. So I should tell them that. I should be like, hey, look, it's just stuff for the babies that are not ours that we don't have to feed and clothe that's into college. So
I mean, it works out. For real. Somebody asked about the blanket pattern.
Yes.
Is that what you were going to say?
Yes.
Okay.
So the blanket pattern, it is on my Instagram and also on everybody else's Instagram too with the post. It's very simple. you cast on 3 stitches. You increase 1 stitch per row until you reach 100. You knit 2 rows plain, and then you decrease 1 stitch per row till you get back to 3.
It's a giant washcloth.
Yes.
I've never made one like that.
Okay,
Why
could
you
you
need to
practice the
practice?
washcloth, please?
What?
Could you at least practice the washcloth for me?
I know how to knit.
I know, but I'm just saying, now you got me nervous.
The decrease is where I'm going to run into issues if I have any, and I'm not going to get that far on Saturday. It's fine.
Well,
I can increase.
I mean, like how I do it is I knit 1, yarn over, then go, and then on the way back I will do my knit 2 together right before the end, because that's how knit 2 together.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I do knit 1, knit front and back across, repeat. So you get to the 100, and then on the decrease side, I knit 1, knit 2 together, knit to the end, repeat.
Yeah, I can't do it at the end of the row. I'll forget.
No, yarn over.
No.
That's just gonna slow me down.
See, I do the yarn overs, but then I twist them on the way back.
Nope, that'll just slow me down, man. Nope.
I do quite a bit of this, so it's like mentally I already have that logged pretty good. So
hate yarn overs. So
really, well,
my brain just never wants to do it right.
Okay, so one of our people was saying something about how they were going to do yarn overs for eyelets, but then when you're decreasing, what the hell do? You have to do like 2 decreases and a yarn over or something? Like, that sounds upsetting. I don't want to know.
Well, that's why, like I said, that's why I twist it so you don't get the eyelet.
I know, but if you wanted eyelets, now my brain has fallen into a hole of trying to figure out how you do eyelets and keep it all the same. I don't want to know.
Or you could do 2 yarn overs per row, then knit the next row, but you would still have to do that on the way back, but also decrease more times. So it's
no. Okay, so I'm knitting front and back, Amy. I'm gonna cast on 3. I'm gonna knit front and back, knit 1, knit front and back, knit to end. Knit 1, knit front and back, knit to end.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And if it's at the beginning, I'll remember to do it.
That's why
if it's at the end, forget it.
Beginning of the stitch each time. See, I see it. It's right there in the beginning.
That's why you and I are together. Like I said, you're my penguin. Hello Angel says knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together. Too hard. I will forget what I'm doing.
No.
Okay, it's not actually that hard, but still.
No, but you have to remember we're gonna have like Caro and Epic Mike purposely being mischievous.
Are they gonna be bugging us, you think?
I'm pretty sure.
I think so. I think they have some schemes.
I'm pretty sure Caro's eyes lit up like sparkles when she found out that she could like aggravate us and say stuff, and because they have to be interesting. They can't just be sitting there talking whatever. I mean, they've got to. So I have a feeling she's gonna be like 79, 80, 81. She's gonna start randomly counting. They're gonna just there's no telling. There's just no telling.
Yeah.
No. I'm a little scared.
You know, I think I'm going to have to bring the rocking chair up to my room. Because I usually just sit on a kitchen chair, which is fine for 2 hours, but this is going to be longer than that.
Yeah, I'll be in my bed here, where I guess is the best Wi-Fi and I can hide.
I could do my bed, too. I'll have to think about it. I might have a change of scenery because I have to be, like, comfortable.
Yeah, I may, because they may be gone, because sometimes they go and visit their grandma. So I may be able to go in the living room, but once they come home and they want to watch TV and stuff, I'm going to come hide. So, you know.
It's like, no, we have competitions to win.
Better stay in your room. You can't.
Intermission for our pee break.
We are going to have a break.
We are going to pee.
We're going to have like an intermission.
Yeah.
Some little music.
Like I'm going to have like, I don't know. I'm gonna have like pre-made snacks, like my snacks already ready, so we get hungry and just like
just a row of drinks just sitting there, straws in each already.
I might get my little mini ice chest, just put it next to me.
I gotta say, okay, when I did the first test blanket, I'm like, okay, I gotta see how long this takes. I'm gonna do this seriously. I'm gonna speed through it, and to get to half, it was 2 hours 45 minutes, but I was watching Knit Night at the time actually, and I'm sitting there and I'm like not drinking water. I'm like going for it. I'm like, wow, this is like get a little fatiguing.
Feeling dehydrated.
A little dehydrated here. I should have thought this through better. And I'm sitting there with the timer on my phone going like, pause, okay, back.
We'll
I
have to have a
should've done
couple of
that,
breaks.
but I did not.
That's okay.
Yeah, because my bad. Like if I'm not talking to you guys, I'm usually like picking up my phone or somebody walks in and asks me something or whatever. So hopefully being like this, because they know like when I'm in here on this, they're like, oh, she's talking to the people again. Then they won't like come bug me. You know, be like, look, go get your own food. You know, don't touch the cheese tray in there. That's for me. And just
Wow, I wish I had my own personal cheese tray.
look, I'm going to Aldi tomorrow. I'm going to get like the little nuts and the little like, cheese. Because
I have to go to the store we don't have any snacks in my house.
You can't get like Doritos. You know, you got to get like.
You don't have anybody feed them to you.
Yeah, so you got to get something clean. You got to think it's kind of like not just a hat rack, my friend.
But we're in that spot where I have groceries for like regular food, like I can cook meals and stuff, but the kids are like, but there's no granola bars, there's no snacks, there's no. So I have to go to the store and get some.
Here's another example of my ADD. I don't even know if it's ADD or ADHD. I don't know why we're like this, DK. But my friends came over.
I have
Saturday.
ADHD. That's what I know.
I'm not. I've never been diagnosed. I don't know what I am, but I'm just a mess. But my friends came over.
I'm avoiding diagnosis. I don't want to know.
Pretty much. And like I have the way my kitchen is, I have like this little counter that's a completely useless counter. Like it's not wide enough for you to actually sit at. You know, if you had bar stools, it's a terribly useless linoleum kind of counter. And so that's kind of where stuff goes to die. So what I started doing over the recent years is that all their stuff that's like their grab and go kind of snacks, because you know they didn't eat school lunch because it's gross, even though it was free. I mean, come on, it's free food, you could have ate it. And so they take like a granola bar or a bag of chips or whatever. They never ate real food the entire time they've been in high school and during the day. So my entire counter is like chips, granola bars, goldfish, nuts. Like it's just one big giant snack counter because the pantry is the ingredients for food. And the fridge is the ingredients for food. And the water bottles for school are outside in the garage. So they know if it's on that countertop, they can just take it. In fact, one time I mistakenly put something there that was for me, and I don't remember what it was, but it was gluten-free. It was special. And I'm like, who ate all my whatever? And he was like, but it was on the counter. I'm like, you're right. You are right. That is the counter where you're supposed to get whatever you can get. You are correct. My fault.
Not your fault. Yeah.
My fault. Now my snacks go in the liquor cabinet where they belong. So.
Because, I mean, obviously, where else would you put them? I have a box
of gluten-free double stuffed Oreos down there right now. So.
That's funny.
But that is another example because people came over and I cleaned up all their snacks and I put them in the pantry. And then a little while later, I'm like, why the heck is there still like 4 boxes of granola bars in here and y'all haven't eaten them and you've told me you need some and I've bought like 4 more from Aldi when there's 4 in the pantry because nobody went in the pantry and looked.
Right. Because you told them not to go in the pantry. And so that's not their fault.
So apparently they've also inherited if we don't see it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Now, in my house, there's a cabinet, and that's where I put all the kids' snacks. Like, it's like a lower, it's not wide enough to, like, put pans in and stuff, and I'm like, okay.
At the old house when they were little, I had a cabinet with, like, some, like, little, you know, plastic trays in it, and it's like, I'd refill it, and that was your snacks.
Yep.
So are we just weird and not like everybody else, or are there other people like us in chat that make
I think there's a lot of people like us. I think
you just like snacks.
Well,
but I think seeing part, you know.
I think as women, especially when we were younger.
Now?
No. But when we were younger, it's true that they didn't think that we got like autism or ADHD or any of that stuff as much as boys, and so I think a lot of us just learned how to cope with it. And then, like, I noticed after I had my hysterectomy and I went into menopause, it got really bad for me because I was lacking all the other hormones that helped me go. And then I, like, fucking just exploded. I self-destructed. Because
I'm cruising towards menopause. Maybe that's why it's getting worse.
Mine got worse after my hysterectomy for 1,000%. And I think that a lot of it is because all of my hormones were gone and then I just couldn't cope anymore. all of the mechanisms I had in place to like keep me going just were gone. It was bad. I'm getting better.
It still boggles my mind that there are people out there that don't have an inner dialogue. Like, I have an inner dialogue all the time.
Oh, it doesn't shut up.
And then I think in pictures. Like, I think in pictures. So if you're telling me a story, I am thinking it in pictures. I am seeing the story in my head in pictures. Like, in like a movie. I do. Like a movie in my head. Which is why I don't like when people tell me gross stories or horror stories or scary stories. I'm like, and I'm also like a worst case scenario thinker. Like, if I have literally laid in bed at night and my husband hasn't come to bed, and I literally think the worst case scenario, and then what would happen, and then what are all the ways I could get through it, and who would help me, and who'd be there for me, and what I would need to do, and then I work it all out in my head. So then when it doesn't happen, I'm fine.
I'm not that bad.
So I don't know why I'm a mess.
But I don't think I see stuff in pictures. I don't know if I see movies. I guess I would know if I did, wouldn't I?
Like when you read a book or listen to a book, do you picture the characters, what they look like?
Yeah, but I don't necessarily see it as a movie. Not like it's not constantly playing.
Yeah, not like the whole time, but like I envision who they are, what they look like. And so when I've decided at the beginning of the book, this is what she looks like, that's what I see for the whole rest of the book. Yeah.
But like if I'm knitting or something, I don't do it the whole time. I'm sorry, Ann.
No, I was about to say, so there is one book in particular I'm thinking of, and I'm very much like Amy, where I'm like, picture people. But I only realized with this book, because it made me really upset, that when they introduced this character, and I'm like, ta-da, here's this character, and they had a couple of small things about her. I'm like, okay, so this is what she looks like and whatever. But they really didn't. She was a part of the story the whole time, but her character itself wasn't really well described. Like, again, she had some couple of visual cues, but not the rest. Right. So the whole time I pictured her as somebody else from a movie, because I'm like, this is like my stand-in character. Hello, this is Valeria from Conan the Barbarian. But by the end of the book, and like big things happened and traumatic things happened, and this was a whole thing. And I'm like, sir, at the end of this book, she was still Valeria. She was not herself. I can't even remember the character's name now. I'm like, I'm so ticked. Wow, I really wish I could have heard about this woman the book was about, but I don't know her. Who is she?
If they don't describe the person, I just make up a person in my head.
Yeah,
exactly. And then later they'll be like, oh, no, it was a brunette. And you're like, what?
Yeah. No, she wasn't. And Amy, I got bad news for you. Liz says that menopause makes it a lot worse. So I'm not the only one saying that.
Okay, great.
Awesome. FYI. Get your stuff going now.
At work, so I don't know what I'll be after that. Yeah. So, jeez.
Yeah, no. But that threw me for a loop. Well, dude, I went into menopause when I was in my late 30s, so I wasn't quite prepared to do it.
Because I've never been like, I'm not hyper at all. Like, I'm not at all like, gotta go, gotta move. Like, my husband is that annoying, must be moving all the time. Like, even when he's sitting, he's rocking his leg or shaking his leg. It drives me absolutely bananas. But I am very auditory aware. Like, I don't like listening to our podcast to edit it because I can't see how my voice sounds. And I think a lot of people are like that. But like noises, like if I have to sleep in the living room because he's sick and he's using the bed or whatever, there's a clock on the wall that I take off because it ticks too loud.
I do that when I stay at my parents' house because they have this clock in there, and I'm like, why would you want this clock in a bedroom? What is wrong with you people?
But I can't have silence, because if there's silence, then you hear everything.
Correct.
So I have to have
fans are good.
So yeah, fans. Well, I always get that going anyway. But like, if the air conditioner's not going in the wintertime, I have a white noise app on my phone, and that is because I'm also a very light sleeper. So I'll wake up to anything. So I'll be like, somebody's breaking in, and it's just the dog like scratching her butt, So,
but this is what I'm talking about. Or I think that a lot of girls weren't diagnosed because it didn't necessarily manifest as like the hyperactivity that the boys had, and so because we didn't present the same way, it wasn't dealt with, or we were fine, or whatever the case was.
And I'm fairly good with time management, so that's weird.
Oh, I'm not,
because I can't stand to be late, but probably because I'm hyper aware of it. So I can't stand to be late, and I can't stand to keep people waiting. And
I can't.
If I keep you waiting and I have not told you why, you should call the police because something happened to me. So
I don't like to be late either. My kids make me late and it makes me crazy. And then like we'll be trying to get out of the house and I'll be like, what are you guys doing? You know, brushing our teeth. Why didn't you do that 2 hours ago? Like,
that's why even though every week or every 2 weeks Ann says, so who's on for Knitting Wars? My answer always is, maybe, I don't know. It depends on what happens. But I still tell her every 2 weeks anyway. Because if I don't,
you for it.
and I don't show up, you should look for me.
yeah. But like, so that kind of time stuff I'm good with. But like if I have a deadline, like the crafting thing that we're going to do,
Right.
that's the deadline's the end of October. At the end of October, I'll be finishing my piece because that's how I do it.
Yeah,
I don't like get stuff done early.
As early as possible, so that I don't have to panic. But then I might forget what I did with it. That's the problem I have.
Danielle says that she got one of those chalks from the Audubon Society from her late father-in-law and had to give it away because the thing chirped at the top of every hour and scared the shit out of her.
Yeah, no, that would have to go. Absolutely.
That would be no good.
I am very pro clock ticking, which sounds weird, but it's like having sounds in the background. It's like, no, I love clocks. I have a lot of clocks. I enjoy them. I love all of them, and I don't mind if they chime on the hour. I don't have a clock that chimes on the hour, but I did once, and I loved it.
No.
So,
but what about the ticking? Doesn't the ticking make you want to rip your hair out?
No, I like the ticking.
Sometimes my kids will be like tapping or humming or something, and it just makes my skin crawl.
No, not into the tapping or humming. I like the ticking, but also on the other hand, I am like a pretty heavy sleeper. So,
see,
I was until I had kids,
and maybe because it's a cheap clock. And it's not exact. It's like I can hear that the tick.
It's not a beautiful tick.
It's not exactly.
You're like subpar tick. Leave.
It's not exactly the way it should be. Like a mana. What do you call that thing? The mana metronome. That keeps perfect thing. That might be okay. Because it's perfect. Like it's exactly whatever, equal. So maybe I could live with that, but probably not because it's still noise.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's too, I would focus on the fact that it's going back and forth and back and forth. That's what happens with the clock. I focus on it and I hear it go and that's the problem. It's not that it's making the noise, it's that I can't sleep because I hear every single tick.
Right.
So that's me and my psychosis. I'm sorry.
My sister-in-law is that way because she's like, yeah, I can't come over to your house anymore. There's too many clocks ticking. I'm like, what? I didn't even notice. And she's like, what is your deal? So, and then, I go over to her house and there's no clocks. Like, where's the time? I have to look on your oven to know what time it is. What's that? She's like, just look on your phone. I'm like, no. I had to buy her a non-ticking clock and be like, this needs to be on your wall so you have a place where you know what time it is.
It's like those digital ones that says all the times from all over the world just for her.
Right. Just, I need this.
See, and like my coworker, she sleeps in she does keep a ceiling fan on just because it's always hot here. But other than that, complete silence. So like if we have a storm come through, she has palm trees and they'll like if it rains, she can't sleep in the rain. I'm like, that's the best time to sleep because it drowns everything out.
Yeah.
But also
I like the sound of it.
I live, on the plains, on the prairie, where the wind comes sweeping down the plains. And the wind literally drove people insane. So there is the habit of having some sort of small noise in the background. Like my grandmother, always the radio on. All the time.
I would like
it was always on. Or the TV. One or the other.
I would probably love the wind noise. Because I love a tropical storm.
I love the wind noise too. But also, I was growing up with it.
Well, it's pretty windy here. But not that windy. But, but it storms a lot here. So I'm familiar with that. So,
yeah.
So, yes, I'm weird. And if you're weird too, let us know. So you make me feel better.
Well, Mama Nevin has a cuckoo clock that doesn't chime when it's dark, but she can hear it click when it hits the hour. So she's on our wavelength.
See?
And Texas Sheep Lady says her friend has 5 clocks and they're all set 5 minutes apart. And I think that would absolutely make me insane.
Yeah, no.
Like if they all chime and they just all keep, nope.
Look,
Thank
if
you.
if all the clocks tick but it's like a small tick, not like a super loud click, small tick, fine. But if they chime and they're different, like we can only have one chimer.
No.
Just one.
No. That
like only one can be the prima ballerina. The rest of you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I would never ever go to that person's house.
No, thank you.
Ever.
So have you ever been in a clock store before where they have a lot of them? It's so cool.
That sounds horrifying.
It's awesome.
See, now I wouldn't necessarily mind a clock store if I was going to leave. Like if I go in and I look around and then I'm done and I go, that's fine.
People have really lovely clocks and then you turn around and go. But
yes, but I'm not gonna like hang out in there. I don't want them at my house.
That's back in the olden days when malls were cool and you had things like clock stores and piano stores.
The clock stores, yeah.
Like I would go in there, but also my ADD wasn't as bad back then either. It's gotten worse as I've gotten older.
I have
so
a
that's
feeling
another thing.
Who done it 2025 might have a clock store involved.
That's not a terrible idea. The clock can be a clue.
Or a murder weapon. If you strap DK in there, she's just gonna kill herself and be done with it. Oh crap!
Or suicide by clock.
Suicide by clock.
Yeah.
Take that, murder she wrote.
Oh my gosh. No.
Just like mouth noises. Like one of my really good friends who passed away a couple years ago, loved her to death, but she was a smacker. And I was like, Tracy, if you don't shut your mouth when you're eating your food. It's like she's like
Here, why is the grandfather clock not working? Oh no, a body. One of my kids loves to make this fake typing noise where they go like, it literally, like, I can be in a different room and I will be like, please stop that right now.
My husband's, like, he's terrible on rocking chairs, like how he always has to be moving. We always have a rocking chair or a glider, and he breaks every single one because he rocks all the time. Because if he's not rocking, he's shaking his leg, or he's outside walking. He cannot sit still. If there's like a day where we don't have chores, stuff to do, he will go find stuff to do. He cannot sit still. And he will get the chair and it will squeak. And I'm like, Rain Man, knock it off. I'm like, stop it. I'm like, I can't deal with the squeaking. He doesn't even hear it. I'm like, how do you not hear it? You're sitting in it. And if you're going to squeak, at least squeak like evenly. Don't squeak like, be consistent.
I think that yours goes a step farther than mine, which is fine with me. That's fine.
I probably have autism. I don't know. I don't care. Definitely have a noise thing. So, which I'm slowly losing my hearing, so that may work out for the best.
Hey. Serendipitous.
I already know sign language. It's fine. If it goes, it goes.
Finally, some quiet.
I would be so sad. All I love to do is listen to audiobooks and podcasts, and then
my luck, I'd get like tinnitus or something with it.
Knock on wood. Do it for you. Man.
Oh, geez. So
if I hadn't messed up my sweater,
thanks
I could have probably finished it.
Therapy session of weird neuroses.
You know, everybody's got their thing. It's okay. So, yeah, Kendra says it's hard to knit and sign at the same time.
It can be done. You could drive and sign. You could drive and sign at the same time, so it can be done.
Yeah, that's not always safe though.
They do it though. It's fine. Trust
me. Oh, I know because
I'm terrified. Like, okay.
I live near a deaf school, so I'm very familiar with it actually. You'll see them talking, and I'll be like, "But I can see both their hands. How are they driving?" Please, you're scaring me. Oh gosh, there's a whole subreddit for pet peeves. I don't even know if that's something I want to dive into.
No, I think that'll make me feel worse. Because
I mean,
I'll be agreeing with them all.
Yeah, I like Reddit. I love like, am I the asshole in like wedding horror stories and stuff? But like, I'm not a Reddit user per se. Like, I will find them on other platforms where people read them to me, and I really like
Right.
that the best.
I
So
think I have an account. I really don't even know, but
yeah, no, I don't go on there either. But there's one show I listen to. It's called Two Hot Takes. They just read Reddit stories and then talk about them, and it's one of my favorite podcasts. So there you go.
Yeah.
Because I can only listen to so much news, and then I need that every week. Every week I'm stoked when it comes out.
Exactly. I have literally, that's why I've been watching like Murder, She Wrote, because I'm like, Tabitha, I'm on your team. It's nice palate cleansing. It's like a nice step back in time, and it's not woke, and nobody's lecturing at me, and it's just
lovely and happy. Such a good time.
Yes, got that in my Friends and Golden Girls repertoire, so
I somehow fell on a quiz about, I don't remember what it was. It was about Golden Girls, and I thought I must have seen the show, but I don't think I ever have, honestly. I was so confused by all the questions. Yeah. But I know the theme song, and I must have seen it when I was small, right?
I mean, it came on in the 80s, but they played reruns all the time, like, in the afternoons and stuff, and back in the day in the 90s and 2000s. So
sounds like during a time slot where I would have been watching Star Trek. So
yeah,
would have been watching Doctor Who or British murder mystery, not the American ones. So.
Yeah.
I mean, Golden Girls is not something you watch for continuity, because it's all kinds of hot mess of continuity. It's just very simple, dumb, sarcastic humor.
I think I was too small when it came out, so like I probably saw it then. And then by the time they were doing reruns of it, I think I was like in high school, and so I wasn't watching it. So I think that's probably how I missed out on it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember if I watched it when it came on regular TV. Like, I probably did, because my mom was older, and I probably watched it with her, but I really don't remember. I don't even remember how I started rewatching it. I don't even know.
Yeah. I feel like if I did watch it, it was probably with my grandma after we watched Lawrence Welk. Like, it was probably that kind of deal. I'm not sure. And who Lawrence Welk is, right?
I
was about to say, after Lawrence Welk is Masterpiece Theater. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't think Grandma watched Masterpiece Theater, though.
I do remember.
I think after Lawrence Welk, we went to other channels.
Because Golden Girls was
leave my grandma alone.
At night, like, it was a primetime show, because I remember it and like the spinoff with The Doctor Next Door and other ones were all in like this, like, I don't know what day they were on, but how Cosby Show was a whole lineup thing, and then there was like the Friday night shows, because back then there was like a day that was because if you didn't see it, you missed it.
Yeah, I only really remember watching like TGI Friday when I was like upper elementary school. That came out.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
I remember, like, I think Sunday night was The Wonderful World of Disney, and it was like a Disney movie. Yeah,
yes,
it was Sunday night.
And my kids complain about like TV now and stuff, and so it's our version of I walked uphill both ways in the snow. Do you know, when I was a kid, we didn't have cartoons all the time. We had to like get up on Saturday morning and watch them, and you had to fight with your siblings to like get the best spot on the couch, and then you had to run to the bathroom in the commercials, and you'd be in the bathroom and they'd be going, "Hurry, it's coming back!"
Like, I vividly remember, because I don't know if anybody else remembers, that there was like Garfield specials that they would play at night. And not because there was a Garfield cartoon, and I loved Garfield, and there'd be like these hour-long specials. Like, there was a Halloween one and a Christmas one and whatever, and kind of like how they do Charlie Brown Christmas, whatever at night, And I remember one time, because I loved Garfield, which that's not at all shocking, and like, we had like antenna, we didn't have cable. We had the actual antenna, like big giant on the roof that my dad had hooked up with a little box that had to go to move it back and forth to get it in the thing. And we live in the country, so like if it rained really bad or the wind blew trees, and because we were surrounded by trees in the country, you lost your signal. And I vividly remember being really, really mad because I missed a Garfield special. And I had to wait like forever for it to come back on.
Yeah. Danielle said something about the cable box having a slider to choose your channel. We didn't have cable until...
I didn't have it, but my rich cousin had it. I remember that.
I think we got it maybe when I was in high school. I think it was a fluke thing where they must have been running a special, because I don't remember having it for long. But it was past the slider thing. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And somebody said that their aunt and uncle lived at the Lawrence Welk Resort, which Danielle said that. That sounds awesome. I didn't know it was an actual resort, so cool. I always like the ladies dancing, like the couples that would dance.
My mom will be like, "Come watch," and I'm like, "Oh."
I loved my grandma. I would just chill with her until I hit 14, and then I was kind of over it. But
and then we're watching like soap operas during the day.
I don't think she did. I think she watched more gossip TV, like the judges and stuff. Judge Judy
my mom
or whatever.
loved Judge Wapner. She loved
maybe that. Yeah.
We're old. Oh man.
Oh man. I'm being summoned. Hold on.
I did see somewhere, and I don't remember what it is, but I think on a Roku channel or something, there's a PBS Classics or something. It's something where they stream the old PBS Kids shows. Ooh. And I was like, I might need to turn that on just to have Mr. Rogers tell me it's going to be okay.
Well, it's kind of like the Pluto channel with Bob Ross. There might be Mr. Rogers on there too. I'm not sure.
Probably. I have turned that on. And my husband was like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, what? You don't know who Bob Ross is?"
Wow.
And he's 10 years older than me, so how do you not know who Bob Ross is? Just like the day I found out that he's never watched an episode of MASH.
Oh wow, my grandma loved.
I never watched MASH.
But he's 10 years older than me, so
okay.
I was like, do I get divorced now? Like, what happens? I'm like, I don't understand what we do here, because he's never seen an episode of MASH still to this day. I'm like, I think I've watched every episode of MASH.
Yeah.
Hippies.
Because my mom loved her some Hawkeye.
No, I don't remember that. And I heard you guys talking about Bob Ross. My brother and I used to watch Bob Ross. And now one of my kids and I watch it sometimes when we kind of just feel like chilling, because he's so calm, and then he's making happy trees, and then you just kind of lay there and watch him, and it's all like, I'm never going to make a painting, but this is nice. So.
Bob Ross was the original ASMR.
Yeah. So, well, my brother and I watched. We never painted. It was cool. I'm sorry, Ann.
I was going to say, sorry to be that guy. Oh, but talking with all this. So, and with Pluto TV. So hanging out with my brother, like I said, with the picture of, the baby eating my yarn. And we were watching Wrath of Khan, which happened to be on Pluto. And it was the movie we want. He's like, you manifested Wrath of Khan. I'm like, yes, it's my spirit movie, this one. But it's like, no, they have a channel where the Star Trek movies just play on repeat, and it happens to be Wrath of Khan when we sat down. But anyways, no, I love it. I love, like having the commercial breaks, and you walk away and you have to tell people what happened, all of that. Fantastic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was a point that says, so Wrath of Khan, which is like the best Star Trek movie ever, and one of the most referenced ones, I think. I think most people kind of know about Wrath of Khan, even if they don't watch the rest of Star Trek. And then immediately after is Search for Spock, which is not good. Okay, it's like kind of subpar. Like, yeah, you watch it when it's in the series, but it's nothing to write home about. It's just, spoiler, Spock died in Wrath of Khan. So also spoiler, Search for Spock is, and he's okay now.
Well,
That's the
obviously.
entire point of this film. So I'm sitting there and I'm like ranting about Search for Spock and why they messed things up and how this messes up the crossover movie that they did, which is like Star Trek 7. And I'm like, but then thematically this doesn't work out. I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm going off. And my brother's like, yeah, you know, that's actually quite interesting. And my sister-in-law looks over at me like, what is your deal? And then Max looks over at her and he like, you see, Anne just doesn't hate the new movies with women in it. She gets annoyed with the old ones too. Like, that's right. I'm just a hater. I'm in it for the sport.
Gosh. I don't know anything about any of these, but that's cool.
You and my husband would have a fun Star Trek conversation, trust me. I have not seen any of the Star Trek movies. Sorry.
You should.
I've seen
to start the series.
I've seen bits and pieces. I've seen a good bit of the original Star Trek. I've seen almost all the Next Generation, and that's about where I ended. So.
I mean, it's good. Even when it's terrible, it's good. It's so earnest, and I love the earnestness. It's just.
I mean, that's a thing. That's valid, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Right.
I'm with you.
Anyways, yes, I'm almost finished with season 3 of the original series. And then,
Wow.
I mean, except for the movies, which movies aren't great. I mean, Wrath of Khan is great, but really, movies generally, the quality between movies and show, the show had the quality. Uniforms in Wrath of Khan, so good. Man, it kills me. Not the point. Ricardo Montalban, not the point of what I'm saying here. But anyways, no, it depresses me. There'll be no more Captain Kirk soon. And I know that there hasn't been Captain Kirk for a long time, but still.
But that one's gonna hurt.
I know, he's my guy.
That's like when Betty White died, okay? I was not okay.
William Shatner's still alive though. That
not for long.
How old is he?
How old is he?
He's getting on. But yeah, he's still on Twitter, which is pretty funny.
Because Betty was like, nope, peace out. I'm done. I'm not making it to 100.
Yeah. He's pretty old, though, isn't he? Is he in his 80s or is he in his 90s now?
He's definitely in his 80s, huh?
Yeah, definitely 80s. I'm not sure, though.
I'm going to look.
How old is William Shatner?
I want to say, like...
Mom and Evan is right. The first Star Trek movie... that one was not good, and the uniform, that was also the worst uniforms. So skip the first one. I mean, if you want to, that's cool. Of course, I take it all too seriously. Like I said, I'm a fan and also a hater. I love it.
He's 93.
What?
Wow.
Born in 31.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a guy.
I thought like 87, 88, so...
Well, he still works on, like, what's that?
Dick Van Dyke, isn't he, like, up there, too?
Is he still alive?
Yes. He's got to be.
Yes, but William Shatner wears it better, A, for being better looking to begin with, but also he's a little fat, which helps old people.
It does help old people. Yes.
Dick Van Dyke was born in 25. He is currently 98.
Wow.
Ooh.
Because his birthday's not till December.
Wow. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's awesome. Which, if you want
he does not look good, though.
No, he does not. I've seen him. If you want another mindless TV show that's not old, but not super current, is that Hot in Cleveland show that Betty White did. Was pretty cute.
Oh.
Because it was like 4 or 5 years, and she's just Betty White. I mean, she's not playing Betty White, but she's just herself. And they have all these like great cameos from all these old actors from like back in her day, back in the 80s. And you'll be watching it and be like, hey, that's what's his face, you know? Like, so it's got a lot of nostalgia to it if you remember the, you know, like I'm pretty sure a good bit of whoever's left from Carol Burnett was on there, and like tons of people she'd worked for and that we worked with in the past, which is everyone, was on it. And it was just, she's like raunchy, and it's awesome.
That's cool. I don't watch much TV. My husband and I have been watching Clarkson's Farm on Ann's recommendation because my husband likes
good.
Top Gear,
Oh,
and the guy that is the host of Top Gear, it's him and his farm, and it's a lot of nonsense. He actually, after we finished supper tonight, he said, "Hey, let's watch one of those shows," and I said, "I only have a half hour. I don't have enough time to do it." So that's okay.
He'll be sitting there like, I want to know what happens with the sheep.
You're like, hurry up, get done, and go out to the sheep.
No. Now he's playing Gears of War, so he'll be busy for the next hour. That's okay. So, but it is about that time.
It is. I haven't eaten yet. It is 7 o'clock. So.
Oh no!
That's okay. I got lots of fat stores. I'm fine. The holy day where I have to fast is coming up. I got to practice. So.
So when you fast, can you have anything?
Nope, for that 24-hour period, no food, no water.
Oh. The water would kill me.
Sunset to sunset. So.
That's a long time.
Probably like 23 hours and 58 minutes or something. Because you lose a minute of the sunset.
Wow. Well, good luck and Godspeed. So everybody watching, make sure that you come back to our channel 6 Eastern Saturday night. Because where else do you want to be on a Saturday but hanging out with us? I mean, really. And we're going to be raising money for the babies, making blankets for the babies. If you want to
if somebody wants to do an over-under betting pool, we're not going to complain.
We're not endorsing betting, but if you want to talk amongst yourselves and decide who is going to win, that's up to you.
We'll laugh, we'll cry. It'll be better than cats.
We might swear. I'm sure that there will be some swearing. So yeah, join us for that. We have Epic Mike and Caro hosting so that the rest of us can knit.
Also be joined by Liz and Neil and Tabitha and the whole crew here.
Yep.
Amy is my teammate.
Holidays, that's a pretty low bar.
We got this.
What's a pretty low
bar? Be
bar?
better than cats.
I've never seen cats, but you guys. All right, so join us on Saturday, 6 Eastern, 5 Central, right? Because I said 6 and both of you looked confused. So 5 Central.
And also, the video is up, the sort of pre-page on YouTube. So you can go ahead and click over there and click like already and hit the notification bell for whenever that comes on. So
yes, because we want as many people in the chat stressing us out as possible.
That's right.
And it's about the babies. We will all win if we raise money for the babies. So there you go.
For the babies.
All right.
Battle cry.
All right. On that note, we're out. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
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 For the babies.